Hello everyone, and welcome to this morning energizing flow. So we're beginning this sequence in a comfortable seat, cross-legged, just whichever leg in front is your kind of natural habitual cross. If you find that you're kind of sinking back a bit into your seat, you can always pop a firm cushion or even a brick underneath your sit bones. And just take a moment here to kind of rest into the stillness. So feeling the kind of emptying out from the crown of the head down through the forehead, the brow bone, all of the muscles in the face, the jaw, the throat, neck, shoulders, chest, upper back, arms, middle of the spine, lower back, belly, hips and legs and feet. Just feel that you're emptying out any kind of imprints from the previous night. So whether you slept well or poorly, it doesn't really matter. We're just letting that go, emptying out to begin a new day. So once you feel that lovely emptied out space, start to fill it with nice energized breath. So inhale fully, right from, kind of imagine you're receiving the breath from above the head. Take it right down into the very pit of the belly, into the base of the seat, and then exhale. Feel that lift of energy as the breath moves up and out and the spine starts to energize. Do this a few more times. If you want to also take a nice big sigh, I always find that to be really, really helpful. It just has some effect on my energy levels. It seems to just wake me up, that little vibration you give yourself when you sigh. Noticing how you're feeling in this moment without attachment to that feeling, knowing it's temporary anyway. Maybe there's a lot on your mind. Maybe there's not very much on your mind. Either way, it doesn't matter, because we're using the breath and that just quality of presence to observe the now. Take a few more moments to be still, feeling a slight pitching forward on your sit bones and noticing how that influences even more of a lift through the crown of your head. You become even lighter and more buoyant. And then just blinking the eyes open if they were closed. And reach your arms out in front of you, facing the palms to the sky. And in fact, take your arms a little bit wide, not quite as wide as like the sides of your body, because you don't want to strain anything. So just keep a kind of well within your peripheral vision position, your hands. And then create a little bit of a drawing together of your shoulder blades, and then create a lift of the heart. But can you keep your chin towards your chest? So there's no strain in the neck. And now you're going to wrap the arms towards one another and switch to have the backs of the hands facing each other. And as you do that, expand the space between your shoulder blades. Now you can rock back on your sit bones and then open it out again. And you can keep this really small, so especially if this is really early in the morning for you, there's no need to force any movement here. You can just wait for the breath to awaken and then feel it moving your body. So the deeper your breath is, the fuller and longer each breath cycle, the fuller the movement will be. But if the breath isn't quite woken up yet, that's okay, it takes time. Okay, and now end with your arms wide, palms spin up to the sky. Allow a lift of the chest. Allow the spine, especially the upper spine, to move towards the front of your body. Lift the gaze, but again, keep your chin relaxed to your chest. And then as you exhale, once again, wrap in, and this time hold with this rounding and feel the fullness in the back of the heart. And then you're going to pass your left arm underneath your right, and then really wrap into the midline here. So you'll start to feel a stretch in the tops of your shoulders. Take your hands and switch the palms so you're hugging your shoulders here, and let the head bow. And just feel that incredible comfort of giving yourself a hug. It's so simple, but it works. Breathe into the fullness of your heart. And breathe out to soften any hardening that has accumulated there, any tenderness, any kind of holding patterns, like resistance to anything, any armor that's built up there. Stay with your arms like this, or if you like, you can take your arms into a second wrap and bring them into an eagle, so a Garuda. Left fingertips will come to the right palm. And if you're taking this version, really knit the elbows together so you feel the shoulder blades drift even further apart, like they're two rafts on an ocean. And then whether you're here or you're holding your shoulders, we're now going to take a little upper spinal pulse. So as you inhale, take that lift of the chest. The shoulder blades aren't going to draw as close this time because of the position of the arms. Then as you exhale, round into yourself like a cocoon. Can't say that word, cocoon. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, round. Do it 3 more times. And again, the range of the movement follows the range of the breath. So if your movement is still pretty small, that's fine. As long as the breath feels like it's driving it. 1 more time. And then come back to neutral. Release the arms wide. Feel that energetic reach from the heart to the fingertips. Expand the chest forward. Press the spine towards the front of the body like it's giving you that support, which it is. And then curve the opposite way. So bring the back to the hands and really feel into this rounding, this kind of caving in. And then your right arm goes under this time. And you come to hug the shoulders. So your hands will be back to the hands and switch just because it's a little bit more tactile. And again, just enjoy this. Even if you can go to the second wrap, the eagle wrap, don't go there yet. Just stay with this. And just fill yourself up with that loving awareness. Fill yourself up with compassion. Revel in the deep gratitude that you feel for being here now and to have your health and to have access to this amazing practice of yoga. And then if you want to go for that second wrap of the arms, you can. It's purely optional though, and it might not feel so good on this side as it did on the other. That's okay to chop and change a bit. This is going to be fine, even if you did this on the other side, especially if there are wrist issues. So just watch out for that. Let's bring in that pulse. So as you inhale, lift the chest gently, but push the spine to the heart, so it's supporting it. And then round, spine kind of caves over the heart, protecting it. Spine lifts the heart up, gives it that buoyancy and support. And then covers and grounds the heart. 1 more of these. Inhaling. And exhaling. And then release the arms wide. Take the palms to face up. Close your eyes and just hold the arms in this position. And notice how it feels like they continue moving away from each other, even if they're not physically doing that. So feeling the kind of awakened energy of the heart now transmitting through all of the nadis, those energy lines that lead from this place. So you can feel the intention of your heart right in your fingertips. And then blink the eyes open. Start to take your left hand down to the ground as the right arm reaches up, and then just walk the left fingertips away, ground the palm, and then allow your right arm to just lean back a little bit. And then to give your neck that comfortable support, take the hand behind the head and just open it up here. Breathing through both sides of the body. Keeping both sides long, even though that left side is going to feel shorter. Then as you exhale, roll this right shoulder down to the ground. So feel that rounding, and then bring your right hand down. And walk your both fingertips away, both sets of fingertips away. So you're in a kind of long twist. Breathing, and you'll feel it particularly in that right flank. And then walk the hands back in. Stay facing towards your left. Draw the left fingertips slightly behind you and use your right hand to gently ease yourself into that twist. And notice the pressure you apply. You want it to be just so that you can then, from that pressure, create a really nice lift. If you push too hard, however, you tend to get stuck and restricted. So notice if you have the tendency to do that. Where can you soften here? So practicing early in the day is such a beautiful opportunity to set ourselves up with softness. So there's enough things in our day that we encounter to create hardness. So let's start from a place of softness. And then coming back into center. And then walking both hands out in front of you. Just to your own degree, it doesn't have to be the deepest stretch. Try and ease your sit bones back and feel your thigh bones plugging into your hips as you walk the fingertips forward. So we start to work with this really healthy opposition. Breathing here. And even when we're not kind of pulsating our body, you can feel that pulse of life moving through you, whether it's through your breath, the pulse of the breath, the pulse of your heart beating, and just that kind of inexplicable pulse of all creation where everything is possible. Starting from this place of great potential, and then walk the hands back in, bring them just a little way behind your hips to change the cross of your legs. And then start to walk the right hand to the right as you sweep your left arm up, and it's like you're creating a crescent moon with your body here. So really enjoy bowing into that left side, maybe edge the right hand a bit further away, and then lean back into yourself. Take the left hand behind the head to support the neck. And just enjoy being in that kind of resting into yourself. So again, we have an incredibly strong spine to support us. So sometimes it's just a bit of self-trust, allowing ourselves to soften into that strength. And then start to close that left elbow in. So you immediately start to feel a nice big stretch through this left side. And then bring the hand all the way down, keeping that slight rounding as you walk the hands away, and then press your seat back in opposition. Breathing here. And then start to walk the hands just a little way closer in towards you. Bring the right hand behind you, and then gentle pressure. So we find that balance of kind of pressing, yes, but not over sort of muscling the pose, if that makes sense. So it's a gentle easing of kind of like a little conversation your body parts have with each other to remind you that you're part of a whole, of course. Breathing deeply, and notice how as we're really in this breath, sometimes it's just the breath that wakes the body up. It just helps that we have movements to kind of synchronize with the breath. It's actually the practice that reminds us to breathe. It's so interesting how the mind works. Take one more breath here. And then swivel forward, walk both hands out in front of you again. Feeling into that forward reach with the heart and that deep grounding back of your seat. And you might start to notice a little or quite a lot of a tender sensation in the back of the pelvis. That's okay. Those are some pretty tender muscles there that we tend to underuse because we're more sedentary. So obviously if it's painful, we never stay with that. But if it's tender, just welcome that and kind of imbue it with breath. One more here. And then start to, as you're ready, walk the hands back in. This time let's make our way onto our hands and our knees, tabletop position. And then just position yourself so your shoulders are above your wrist, your hips are above your knees. And take this moment here, just have some free movement. So you can do a kind of traditional or a kind of a familiar cat-cow, or if I was just starting to go into there, you might even find just something a little bit different. There is no wrong or right way to do this. Just let yourself arrive in your body with a kind of curiosity. It's as if you are inhabiting your body for the first time. So there's no restriction or there's no kind of rule book for what you can do. So enjoy the kind of majesty of your body. Enjoy filling it up with breath for the day, and then we'll just slowly start to make our way back into a neutral position, into stillness. And then you're going to reach your right arm up to the sky, or just towards the sky. If it's more to the side, that's fine. And then weave the right arm underneath the left. Slide the back of the hand across the ground. Maybe the right shoulder doesn't quite ground, that's fine. You can use the pressure of the hands. Or if it does, you can gently rest your head and maybe creep the left fingertips forward. Staying here, and just use the press of the left fingertips or left hand, if you prefer to have it flat, to feel a yawning open between the shoulder blades. And a beautiful big twist through our thoracic spine, so the kind of the dense part of our spine, liberating the rib cage, stretching the intercostal muscles to better support us in that breath. One more here. And then start to draw your left hand back in. Float the right arm up. Inhale, notice what you feel. Placing it down. Same on the other side. take your left arm up. Just to your own degree, it could be more to the side, weave it under. I'm having modify slightly because I don't have as much space this side, but again, don't worry if that shoulder doesn't touch down, because you can use the pressure under that right hand to create the stretch. And then if it does, of course, press the ear, maybe take the fingertips forward. And we want to get a sense that the tailbone is stretching back. This is just so no unnecessary weight pressure goes into the neck. And again, really enjoy stretching into this part of the spine and the shoulders and getting the rib cage to turn as if it were its own entity. One more breath here. And then draw that right hand back if it went forward. Unweave the left arm and just float it up. And again, just notice the difference between a kind of effortful lift of the arm and then that natural energetic response where it just kind of floats up of its own accord. From here, we're going to press back easily into downward facing dog and take some time to pedal out the legs, bending one knee, extending the other. And as you fill up, also remember, we also are keeping that quality of emptying out. It's a continual cycle of beginning, sustaining and dissolving. So we never hold on to one aspect of that for too long. And then as you inhale, gently glide the right leg up, three-legged dog. And you can bend the knee here, yawn the hip open, doesn't have to be extreme. Just so you start to feel some space in that right hip, and then realign, softly step your right foot between your hands, drop the left knee down and uncurl the toes. Now imagine that someone is lifting the back of your heart. As you drift your arms up, circle them around and then place the hands to the lower back. Feel the lower back broad as you lift your chest. Again, it's that quality of the spine lifting to support the heart. Inhale here. And then reaching the arms forward and down as you start to draw the hips back. Extend that right leg to your own degree. If the knee is bent, that's okay. Inhale, lift your chest. And then exhale, bow it down. And that doesn't have to be, do it 2 more times. That doesn't have to be as extreme a action as you might think. It's more a felt sense of like a wave, a pulse moving through your heart as it energizes. And then rest for a breath here in your Ardha Hanumanasana. And then lift the chest. Now spin that left shin in so your toes are pointing to the right side, and bring the right foot so the toes point forward. And then left fingertips beside you as you reach your right arm up and over, creating a kind of like a side angle, but with that back, with the knees down rather than standing. And then using a strong core, take the right arm up and over, rest it lightly on the outer right calf as you now lift through that left side. And then again, come back into this side as you reach the right arm up and over. This time, you're going to come to face the back of your mat. And then step that left foot between your hands. And we're back in our low lunge. So you're going to pick up from the back of the heart here. Feel that lift. And then the arms are just floating as a kind of accessory. So you're not forcing the motion. And then bring your hands to your lower back. Keep it nice and broad. As you let that right hip sink towards the earth a little bit, lifting through your heart, and then draw the hips back, fingertips come to the ground. Pull up through that left thigh and then inhale. Find that quality of lift. Exhale to fold 2 more times. Inhaling. Exhaling 1 more time. And again, just to your own degree. And then rest into stillness in your Ardha Hanumanasana. And whatever expression of this pose you've taken, just feeling into the wholeness of the body, not just the left hamstrings, the whole body in this experience. And then lift your chest, carefully angle that right shin in, turn the left toes so they point forward, and you're back in this gate pose preparation. Walk the right fingertips away so you come into a kind of low to the ground side angle. Nice spacious pose here. And then use the core muscles to pick you up and take it to the other side. So left hand lightly places, and if it's more on the thigh, that's okay. You can just have the option to slide down to the calf, but again, nothing forcing. Create a slight rolling open of the chest here so there's no pressure, and in fact you can take your hand to the back of your head again. And then coming up and over, this time shifting both knees back and sitting onto your heels, coming to your child's pose. Or if child's pose is not a comfortable posture for you, you can kneel. You could come to cross-legged seat and fold forward again, and we'll complete our practice there. Thank you for joining me. Wishing you a very beautiful day. Namaste.